Yes, you are. Okay, you got to go over. Move over. Thank you. Hey, welcome back, folks. I'm glad you could join me again today. It's still a little cool out, but we decided, hey, we're going to come out here because I want to talk to you a little bit about, well, this horse has a little bit to do with it, but I want to talk to you about something that, well, I did a video quite a while back and I talked about how spoiling your horse can be just as bad as abusing your horse, because what ends up happening in the end is you end up with a horse that doesn't listen, it becomes dangerous, nobody wants it, and eventually it ends up at slaughter. Not what we want. And it's a chronic problem, and I've actually even just recently talked to a few people where this seems to be a problem. You're just too nice. Now, I'll get to why this horse is here too, but I want to talk a little bit about what happens when you're too nice is your horse becomes dangerous. Now, I've heard people say, well, my horse isn't dangerous. I can do anything I want. She just doesn't listen to me. Well, that's still dangerous, because if the horse doesn't listen to you when you need it to, it might be dangerous to itself, or it could actually be dangerous to you too. Now, here's a scenario I like to use is, say you're riding down the road and, well, there's a big truck coming, and you want the horse to go down in the ditch, get off the road away from the truck. And the horse says, I don't really feel like it. I don't want to listen to, because you've spoiled it, and in the past it doesn't always have to listen because you've spoiled it. And by the time the truck gets there, well, best case scenario, he might stop in time, and you're going to have a very upset truck driver on your hands. That's best case scenario. Somewhere in between, you end up with a heck of a vet bill and you end up in the hospital. Worst case scenario, you both end up dead because you spoiled your horse. And this is what I want to talk about today is it's a safety issue. Spoiling your horse truly is a safety issue. This one here, oh, look at that. She's a little concerned. I just brought her in today. I haven't worked with her for, well, since it got ugly cold. So she's a little out of touch right now, but she's still doing pretty darn good. But I've been firm. I've been firm with her. I've been firm with every horse, and horses don't take offense to firmness. They really don't. They just look at it like, oh, you told me what the rules are. Okay, thank you for that information. It's just information to them. They don't take it personal. They don't take offense to it. They're not like humans. They don't get offended. They just consider it to be information. That's all, nothing more. And that information can give structure to their life. It makes them feel a little calmer and safer and happier. Generally, by being firm with your horse, you end up with a lot happier horse. It's better for the horse. It really is. I have a hard time convincing people of that. Well, this one here is here because, in a way, she's got a multitude of problems, but one of them is her owner has been a little too nice and a little too lenient, not firm enough. Something I don't do. If I ask the horse to do something, it's going to do it. I'm going to follow through on that. I'm going to be firm, and the horse is going to do what I want. Now, it doesn't mean getting mad at it and bullying it around and stuff like that. You still got to be nice to the horse. That's important. And most of the people that spoil their horses, really, it's not a huge character flaw of any kind. They're really nice people. For example, the owner of this horse, absolutely lovely lady, can't say a bad thing about her. Very, very nice. But she's maybe a little too nice, and she tends to spoil her horses a bit. Now, she takes good care of them. She doesn't hesitate to spend money on them. She spends time with them. She looks after them. They need nothing. She takes good care of them in that respect, but she's not firm enough, and I've seen some of the problems that she has with her other horses. And it all leads back to the same thing. She's just not firm enough. She's just too darn nice. So please, people, stop being so darn nice. Because, I did tell her, I already talked to her about the problem a little bit. And I says, well, when I'm done with the horse, we're going to have a conversation because you're just too nice. And that is what happens if you're too nice. You end up with a horse that doesn't listen to you, doesn't respond to you. And it can potentially become dangerous in an odd way. It's not, the horse doesn't become aggressive and that sort of thing, but if it doesn't listen, it can be just as dangerous in one way or another. can still cost you your life or the horse's life, or end up with a heck of a vet bill or something like that. Because let's face it, horses don't always make the best choices. Sometimes we do know better. And if we say, no, I don't want you going over there because that's a dangerous place for you to be, you want a horse that's going to listen to you. You don't want a horse that's going to go, I don't feel like it today, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. No, you want a horse that is going to listen. And, well, as kind of proof that this works is, if horses took offense to being firm, I wouldn't have any horses hanging around me. And as it turns out, every time I go out there to get one, and today again, another perfect example, I go to get this one and I got a half a dozen horses mobbing me. Not what I want, unfortunately. That can be a bit of a hazard too in its own way, but that's the problem when you have a large herd that you have to go into to get one horse. If the horses like you and they aren't offended by you, even though I am quite firm, well, I don't mess around. I mean, they know I mean business when I say something. So, but like I said, it's a safety issue, and I've been, even though this one's a pretty worried horse, or was when I started with her, I've been pretty firm with her too. I don't cut her any slack just because she's got issues. I kind of watch, not to push her over the edge. We've got to be careful that way, but at the same time, she learns that she better be paying attention to me because I'm serious when I say something, and that, leads to keeping her focused on me and things like that, which helps calm her down because she's not worried about other things. I've talked about that in other videos, but the whole, one of my things I always say is you got it, and I've said it in many of my videos too, is you have to be both fair but firm. You got to be fair. Don't ask the horse something it doesn't understand unless you're willing to take the time to teach it, so it does understand. But when you do ask the horse to do something that it does understand, you got to be firm and follow through and make sure it does what you ask it to do, because it is truly a safety issue for both you and the horse. So it's just a problem that I thought I would address because it has come up a number of times recently with various people I've talked to, where they're having problems with the horse, and it's pretty simple. You're just being too nice. That's really all that's hard. The only problem you're having is, you're being too nice. The horse doesn't take you seriously, and that's where you need to be firm with the horse, as firm as necessary. And you also have to be consistent. That's another thing that goes right along with that is, in order to be firm, you have to be consistent so that the horse knows that when you say something, you mean it, because every single time you've ever asked for something, the horse has had to do it. And that's kind of what we've been doing with this one too. Just like every other horse that I work with, if I ask it to do something that I've already taught it and it understands, then it better do it. It's a safety issue for both the horse and me. So stop being so darn nice, right? Have a good day.